Thank you. Let me just fix this. Okay, so tonight, good evening, everyone, especially to those who are here for the first time. My name's Ariel Driz. I will be your book reviewer for tonight on a very exciting book called The 12-Week Year. Yes, I do work with companies, multinational companies and local companies, but I also do work with coach some entrepreneurs, and there are some leaders here who are very successful as well. Um, I've read this. Actually, I've read this book and I listened to this book, and not just one time, but I've listened to this over and over and over. So I got the book here. I even got a Kindle copy, and I also got the audiobooks. It's a little bit over the top, but that's nagkasabay-sabay sila, no? But I'm really glad I really read this book. So tonight we're going to hopefully we can talk about some of the principles that are very glaring in this book, and I'm going to talk about some of the key points. Obviously, it's hard to talk about the whole book, the entire book, in one sitting. So tonight it's just a concise version of my take on the book. But I really suggest that you read the book yourself if you have goals. If you're running a business, any type of business, this will be helpful for you. If you have a career and you want to move forward in your career, this is a book that is very good for you. So let's go on with it. So 12-Week Year is a book written by Brian Moran, very successful, and I'm going to talk about Brian Moran. And the main value proposition of this book is this: accomplish your yearly goals in 12 weeks. Get more done in 12 weeks than others in 12 months. And it's a matter of mindset, yes, but it's also a matter of getting a few principles done, because it does not happen with just mindset. Mindset is the start of it, but getting it done requires a little bit of methodology and some principles you need to follow. Okay, this is written by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. So a little bit about Brian Moran. He's the president and founder of the 12-Week Year. Has 30 years, I think more than that already, of expertise in as a corporate executive, a high-level corporate entrepreneur, consultant, and coach. His background as a corporate executive is combined with his unique skill as an entrepreneur and helping individuals in organization grow and prosper. I think he has a good grasp of what it means to be in a corporate world and how to run your own business. So that's a different type of expertise. People who were in corporate and in entrepreneurship at the same time, they will tell you there's a little bit of a difference in as far as how you think and how you should move. Now, his partner, co-author, is Lennington, is a co-author of this book. He has been consultant for most of his adult life, has worked with companies in the Americas, Asia, Europe, and Middle East. And as you can see, he has a lot of skills, and together with him and Brian Moran, they've helped a lot of companies, a lot of individuals, especially in this book, 12-Week Year. Okay, now they've been working with this company. Some are very big companies. Century 21, yeah, MetLife, wow. They have Medtronics, one of the creator of the pacemakers and I think artificial heart, and a lot of big companies worldwide. They've been working with a lot of them. Insurance, financial companies, MetLife, New York Life, Northwestern Mutual, etc. So if you have goals, especially these companies are very goal oriented. Well, all companies are goal oriented, but if you're in sales, in marketing, you want to get things done, this is the book for you. If you have projects that you need to line up and accomplish, whether it's in construction, IT, or business development, this is the book for you. Okay, I like to quote this passage from an Asian book from Nehemiah. It says, "I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down." you need to see yourself as writing a story of your life, and you're doing something. If you're a mom and you're a dad, or you're in business, or you're building a career for you and your family, you're doing a great work. And it's important that you have the right attitude of, the work I do is very important and I cannot get distracted. Okay, that is one of the messages of I listen to, I continuously watch a talk by a guy named Andy Stanley, and I think the message of that was more of focus. You need to focus to say yes to the things that you need to do right now, and the guts to say no to the things that will distract you, even if it is nice. Okay, so that's another talk, but that's I like to start with that passage. In the book, the Brian Moran quoted Thomas Edison: "If we did all the things we are capable of, we would literally astound ourselves." Many of us have not been performing at our peak potential. You may want to ask yourself, am I really performing at the peak potential? And many times, and I tell you right now, I'm not to where I want to be in terms of potential of being efficient in what I need to do, be effective. And it's not because I was not talented. And for many times, it's not talent. It's really more of certain decisions and choices we have to make to be able to move forward in our careers, or whatever our plans for our businesses. So if we all did, if you know, so you may want to ask yourself, and am I doing things? Am I doing all the things I'm capable of? And probably the answer is no. And part of the reason is our mindset, the way we look at things. Now, they say knowledge is power. Yes, that's true, but that's not all. Okay, if knowledge was power, we probably should be more successful right now, isn't it? You know, today we have access to all the knowledge in the world through the internet. Just imagine, I have audiobooks of books I wanted to read. Okay, I can actually listen to them. I can, every single waking hour, I can listen, I can read. But see, how come people are still not as successful as they ought to be? Well, today is about execution. There's one word that is lacking in many companies and many people's career or in companies' goals. It's really execution. Many companies have a strategy. They normally go out on a strategic planning every year. Okay. If I were you'd like to do the same. If you have a business of your own, or you want to do a time alone for yourself, you need to have a strategic plan for yourself, your career, like, you know, and if you're running a company, more so, you need to do a strategic session for your company. But here's the thing, the big disconnect is the execution. There are a lot of strategies, and many companies or many executives will tell you, yeah, we have strategic sessions year on year. Pupunta pa sila sa Boracay, pupunta sila sa, you know, Palawan, you know, they go to hotel, nice hotel, overnight. I know that because I've done that. I've facilitated that. There was one strategic session. We were in Tagaytay, day 1. Day 2, we had a team building. You know what what was our exercise? We had to go to the peak of Taal volcano. Sa Taal volcano. It was an exercise. We did an exercise. The bad news is, you know, my assistant was my wife, and my wife doesn't like walking long distances. And there was a pregnant woman, another assistant of mine. So I had to do that, no? Just to do team building, strategic planning. So there are a lot of strategic plans, fun. And after that session, it's a really good experience. But you know what? Where is the big disconnect? Execution. Why? Because many companies and many people are hung up with what? Yearly planning. Nothing wrong with yearly planning. Ito lang problema sa yearly planning. You know, it endorses a bit of procrastination. Kasi yearly planning, what happens? January, you have, after strategic plan, may plan ka na, may tactics ka na. Oh, it's all that. It's all there. The problem is, January, what do you think? Oh, it's still, malayo pa yan. So let's do that later. February na lang. And all of a sudden, year on year, kalahati ng taon, nothing has been done. Okay, that's the problem with yearly planning. The problem with yearly goals, the deadline is too far off. Masyado, malayo masyado. Okay, so that is the problem. So it breeds a lot of procrastination. And it's not because you're not working, because a strategic plan is a special, it's a special direction that you have to do deliberately. The problem there is you have what we call the BAU. Ano yung BAU? Business as usual activities. Meron kang day-to-day activities. You have to do that on top of your strategic plan. Am I making sense? So meron kang daily to-dos and you have your strategic plan. That's the problem. Now, the same thing, if you're an entrepreneur, that there's your daily life and your business goals. That's the problem. And guess what? You tend to procrastinate. Yun ang problema. People have a lot of plans, a lot of strategy, but at the end of the day, just like what John Wooden said, it's what you learn after you know it, all that counts. Okay? Ang problema mo, after 1 year, oh my God, wala pang nangyayari. You know what? And this doesn't happen also, year on year. Alam niyo sa sales, if you go into sales, this is what happens. Great things happen at year end. Okay. Miraculo. Even month end, things happen at month end. That we my wife and I, we run our own business. We do that all the time. Miracle, okay? Even, I used to be in high-tech manufacturing, biglang lalabas yung output pag quarter end. Okay, a year end. When we have to close to meet the numbers. Why? Because the numbers mean money. Bakit money? Because if we meet the goal, the yearly goals, we have performance increases. That is where, great things happen in sales. In sales, in production, whatever it is. Even in construction. Okay? If your deadline is August, ayan. Parang Enero pa lang, parang walang nangyayari. Pero kung let's say, you have to finish everything by August, things suddenly happen at the end of the day. Try planning a wedding. Okay? Try planning a wedding. Alam ko yan eh. Kasi wedding namin, ours is a bad example because, we decided to get married May. And our wedding date was September. Okay, talaga galing naman, no? Ang bilis, no? And we pulled it off. Yung iba, I know, some other people 1 year before, but the output is the same. Guess what happens? Kasi a lot of things happen during the deadline. Ganun din sa amin, okay? The flowers, etc. So that is life, okay? So in a company, what Brian Moran and Michael Lennington says, you have to forget planning for 1 year. Okay, now, there's nothing like a deadline that gets you motivated. Do you agree? Virtual raise your hand naman. Do you agree? If there is a deadline, something happens, right? Tama, di ba? O, di ba when we... Remember that when you were studying in school? Di ba? Okay. Next week, may exam tayo. Wala kang ginagawa. Di, manood muna tayo ng Netflix o manood muna tayong sine. I mean, that time, puro sine pa nun. But what happened? The night before the exam, what happens? Wala akong tulog. Okay? Nothing like a deadline. Okay? There are two principles I learned when I graduated from college and it was my first job. My very first boss gave me two principles I need to remember. The first one was Murphy's Law. You know what Murphy's Law is? If anything can go wrong, it will. Okay? It is not a negative thing. It's more of a project management thing, a risk management thing. You have to assume things will go wrong so you can prepare for it. Okay? That's one. The second one is this. Parkinson's Law. Work expands so as to fill the time available for us for its completion. Ano ibig sabihin nun? If I told Brenda, okay, let's say Brenda, I was Brenda's boss. Brenda, I need this report by Friday next week. Okay? Guess what? Will Brenda get it done? Okay naman si Brenda. She'll get it done by Friday. Pero what if I told her, Brenda, no excuses, I need this report by tomorrow. Do you think Brenda will get it done? Oh yeah, Brenda will get it done. Kasi whether it's tomorrow or Friday, it will get done. And guess when will Brenda make, well, hindi naman siguro si Brenda. Generally, people will make the report the day before Friday, Thursday. See? So that is Parkinson's law. Because work expands to the number of time allotted to it. Because work is very fluid. Am I making sense? Okay? So, maganda if you challenge yourself, you know, kaya sinabi niya, ganun ka-flexible yung work. Kaya, Brian Moran said, forget 12 months. 1 year is 12 weeks. Okay? It's a mindset. Because they're very confident they were able to work with companies that achieve more in 12 weeks than in 1 year. Why? Because of this law, Parkinson's law. They made use of Parkinson's law. The truth is every week counts. You know, when you waste a week, you know what happens? You really waste a month. When you waste a day, you waste a week. Anong araw na ngayon? Friday. Parang ang feeling ko, some of the principles were already implementing with me and my team, you know. You know what's funny? I'm the one facilitating it, and I just went, wow, the week just went like that. So if you don't pay attention, life will pass you by, and your dreams will pass you by. And as I talk to you, I talk to myself. So you want to discard annualized thinking because it's too far off. What you want is to convert 12 months to 12 weeks. So 1 year is 12 weeks. Okay? 1 month is 1 week. Okay? 1 week is 1 day. So that is how you compressed it. So we're right now redefining the week. Naku, hirap naman yan. Now, here's the thing. You cannot do everything. My mentor, Mike Wilson, said, he always tells me, Ariel, you can do everything. You can do anything, but you cannot do everything. So part of the process here is understanding what your priorities are. Okay. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is an act, not a habit. Habit is very important. Habit is very important in the 12-week year. Okay. I will be jumping on some principles on the 12-week year. You need the 12 weeks has to compel you to create certain habits that will make you efficient for the day, for the week, and for the week, so that in the 12 weeks you can actually accomplish your 12-week goal. So ngayon, hindi lang ang yearly goal mo is actually a 12-week goal. Dati yung 1 year strategy mo is a 12-week strategy. Imagine niyo, ako parang ang dami nun. Yun nga eh. It's better that you do a few things fast than you try to do a lot of things in a mediocre way. Very slowly. Nakuha niyo ibig sabihin? Like, di ba, there's a book called Single Tasking. Sabi nyo sa single tasking, mahirap, multitasking is overrated. Trying to do everything is overrated. Do little thing. Mas maganda, do one thing fast, quality, then go to the next one. That is the part of 12-week year. There is a principle in the 12-week year called periodization. What is periodization? This is derived from athletes. I think this is Europe, no? One is, it is focused training regimen sa athlete that concentrates on one skill for a limited period, usually 4 to 6 weeks. So ibig sabihin, when you're trying to accomplish something, do it in chunks of 4 to 6. Just do that thing well. When you finish, go to the next one. Okay? So you don't need to do everything. Focus on one and do it fast. And after each 4 to 6 weeks, the athlete then moves to the next skill in sequence. Okay, this is what are they training on? They're training on the priority. They call it the keystone habit. You know, Charles Duhigg in his book Habit talks about the keystone habit. Dito, you want to have a keystone tactic that if I do this, it will enable the other things I need to be done. So you want to work on the most important one. Okay? Meron dito, less is more. Okay, less is more. Now, that is a challenge for me most because I like doing a lot of things. As my personality type, I'm a choleric sanguine. A choleric, wants to accomplish a lot of things. That is a choleric. Pero a sanguine naman, basta maganda, let's try this, let's try that. So I have to be more focused. If I want to make this work, I have to be focused on what I need to do. Okay. Breakthrough results don't start with your action. They are created in your thinking. So the action of 12-week year starts with your mind. It starts with your mind. Okay? Thinking drives actions and actions drive results. But you still need to drive your thinking. So you need to look at, okay, the 12 weeks equal 1 year. Forget about a year. Forget about, ano bang month na yon? Ano ngayon? June. Forget about June next year. Of course, you want to have a vision for June next year, which is part of the process. Pero forget about that. A year is no longer 12 months or 12 weeks. So the next time, actually, we're about to reset. Kasi matatapos na namin yung 12-week year. No? We're gonna start a new 12-week year. So right now, I just actually, nagpa-print ako. No? Nagpumalik ako sa old school. I printed again because I'm gonna plan another 12 weeks. No? The nice thing about 12 weeks, if you failed in your first 12 weeks, you can move forward. Madaling bumawi. Kasi if you lost 1 year, di ba, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. If your past 12 weeks was bad, you can write down, you can scramble and make it happen. And the nice thing is there's always urgency kasi 12 weeks lang eh. Okay? I remember I went to a school, okay? I went to LaSalle. In LaSalle, we were the first batch of engineering students that had the trimester. Okay? Trimester, unlike a semester is 6 months or 4 months, no? A trimester is 13 weeks. Ang bilis doon. Pagpasok ng teacher doon sa school, wala nang, hi, hello, I'm Mr. So-and-so. What's your name? What is your favorite color? Wala nang ganun. We just go right away back to business, lecture agad, next week, maya-maya, midterm exam na. No? Same thing, So I really related to this because I only knew 12 weeks like a trimester, 1 trimester. There are no longer 4 periods in it. That's old thinking. You want a 12-week year and you pour your year in the 12 weeks. That's it. Now, the 12-week year approach is an execution system. It's like an operating system. It's like whatever your goal is, if you do it the 12-week year, whether you're talking about, product, sales, marketing, technology, or even your career, even if losing weight, the 12-week year will work for you. Okay? This is it is a way you do stuff. It is a set of principles, a methodology on how you do fast results in 12 weeks. Okay, so it's an operating system. So when you're running your career, your business, your personal life, this is your operating system. Okay, there are 3 principles in the 12-week year. The first one is accountability. Ano yung accountability? We'll talk about accountability, commitment, and greatness in the moment. These are the top 3 principles of the 12-week year. What is accountability? Accountability is not having a boss. Accountability is really ownership. You own it. Okay? You own it. I'm accountable to myself. There's going to be scoring here. We're going to measure my performance. But at the end of the day, I am not accountable to anybody. Although, later on you'll be sort of accountable, but really they're not your boss. You're equals. I'm accountable to me. The only person I'm cheating is myself. Okay, that's ownership. Next, you have freedom of choice. Okay, you have freedom of choice to do it or not, but you have freedom of choice to pursue certain things that you need to pursue. Okay, what more can I get? What more can I do to get the result? Here's the thing: the result should aspire should be focused enough such that if you get that, it enables a lot of the other goals. Gayon nun. There's a book called The One Thing. I think this one and One Thing is very related. Another book called Atomic Habits. All these three books are related to each other. Okay? And also there's a book called Compound Effect and Slight Edge. Pare-parehas ang sinasabi. But the nice thing about the 12-week year, this creates the foundation and the structure on how to make the other, what they say in the other books work. In the One Thing, they tell me, ano ba yon? Ano ba is the focus? And I focus on that and own it, accountability. Now, in accountability, you resolve never be to the victim. Again, if I don't meet my goal, it's up to me. It's on me because I did not do what I needed to do. But if I'm not able to do what I needed to do, I have to ask myself, did I try to take on a lot? Or, did I lack certain disciplines that I needed to do na hindi nangyari? Did I not design my environment, atomic habit yun, such that I can do it? I can do the things I needed to do. But never resolve never to be a victim. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. The great thing about ownership is this. If I fail, I own it, I can fix it. Okay? Ganun lang yun eh. Be willing to take different actions. If it didn't work, then what approach can I do? So even I right now, when we're trying to do 12-week, we're learning as we go. We want to associate also with people who are accountable. Okay, that's why later on we'll talk about work, WAM, weekly accountability meetings. You want to associate people who are accountable to themselves. We're not answerable to them, but we're associating with ourselves so we can strengthen our accountability. So as Kobe Bryant says, no excuses. Number 2 principle, commitment. Commitment is a promise. A promise to keep it. Okay. It's a commitment, a promise, a decision, and a promise. That's a commitment. You decide to do a quality decision to go for a goal for 12 weeks and a promise to do it. And you are accountability for a future action or result. The great thing of what we're trying to do, you are making accountability for ourselves for an action today. If I measure myself about this sa action na to, that will eventually focus on the results. Maraming kasi tao, they're results oriented. They look at the result, which is fine. Pero if you're looking at the result, you're not doing what it takes to do it now, to get the result now, pabayaan mo na yon. Okay? Let's say, pero sinasabi nila, what if you intended to go to Baguio, but you took SLEX papuntang Laguna? Even if you took, I want to go to Baguio, I want to go to Baguio, you're not gonna go to Baguio. You're gonna end up in Calamba. Okay? Yun lang yun. Now, the thing is, sometimes, okay, you're not intending to go to Baguio, but you went to NLEX and you drove for 6 hours. You probably will end up in Baguio, right? Kasi actions are everything. Execution is everything. Yun ang importante dyan. So you need to know what your committed actions. You need to write down your actions. You need to write down. Okay? Part of the discipline that I'm learning, continue to learn is I need to write down. I need to write down. Okay? If you want to get it back into shape, you need to run. Simple lang yan. You need to exercise. You need to do the things if you want to lose weight and be fit. Yes, kasama yun sa focus mo, but you need to focus on the things you need to do to get the result. Ganun kasi, parang common sense, right? If you want to be healthy, eat the right food. If you want to meet your goals, your business goals, make the phone calls you need to make. Make appointments you need to make. Meet the people you need to meet. Okay, number 3, greatness in the moment. What is greatness in the moment? Eto yan. Greatness in the moment is doing the necessary things to become great. Okay. Parang ano yan It's a daily choice or deliberate action. Ano ibig sabihin? Greatness does not consist when you achieve the goal. Of course, that is great. That is the whole point of this. However, the greatness does not happen at the end. The greatness is in between. Michael Phelps is daming medalya, is the most successful Olympian in history. He has won the most gold medals in Olympic history. And the great thing about it is it happened in our lifetime. Dati, ang sa swimmer, si Mark Spitz. Kilala yan. Sino mo may kilala ni Titus yun, si Mark Spitz. Napanood pa niya si Mark Spitz. But you know, this guy broke it all. Won over 3 times, more than 3 times what Mark Spitz won dati. But guess what? The greatness was not when he won the gold medals. That was a great moment, but his greatness was when he decided to get into the pool every single day. Naku, malamig. Naku, I don't feel like it, you know. But it's when you get into the pool and go through it. Okay, that is when the greatness happened. Okay, the gold medal really happened when he made the decision to train every single day, even if he doesn't feel it. Okay, you know, that's it. That's greatness in the moment. Those are the 3 principles. Okay. Now, accountability, commitment, and greatness in the moment. Now, there are 5 disciplines that you need to remember when you're doing the 12-week year. 5 disciplines. And by the way, and I'm trying to go through what you're going to do. So, the first one is a compelling vision. I'll try to summarize it right now. Ang compelling vision is this. You need to prepare a 5-year, you know, a 5+ year plan, you know, a vision, what if vision. And from that compelling vision, you break it down to what's possible in 3 years. Then, so you have a 3-year vision. Then you break it down what's possible in 1 year. That's a 1-year vision. Now, that is different from 1-year planning. Okay? The vision is 1 year, 3 years. The next one is planning. This is when you break down, based on that vision, what do I need to accomplish in 12 weeks? Okay? What do I need to accomplish in 12 weeks? So 12 weeks is a year plan dati. Ngayon, you're gonna accomplish it in 12 weeks. 12 weeks. Now, after doing the plan for 12 weeks, you have a 12-week goal. Kailangan may 12-week goal ka. Okay? And in those 12-week goal, you will plan every week. Because 1 week is 1 month. And you need to plan what happens during that week, the day. And remember, 1 day is 1 week. Na-imagine nyo? So you break it down. You have a compelling vision. Break it down. So you have a score sheet. Mamaya, may process control. What is process control? Process controls are things you need to do. Okay? So that you keep to the goal. Okay? Process control is making sure, how do you make sure that things happen? And part of this is what we call the WAM group, weekly accountability meeting. And part of it, if you ask me, it's part of process control. You need to measure your performance every single day. You're not going to measure the end result yet. You're going to measure the tactics. Yung tactics is what are you going to do? And you measure how well you're doing with the tactics. And of course, the time use. So that's in a nutshell, that 5 disciplines. Let me just elaborate a little. What is a compelling vision? It's a clear vision of the future. The business, here's the thing about compelling vision. Your business vision has to align with your personal vision. Because a personal vision will inject the passion. Okay? The personal vision will inject the passion. You cannot make a goal vision na business lang. Kailangan align yung personal vision mo with your business vision because it will never work. How does your life look like? You want to say, okay, what if, you know, what if? It's a powerful, there has to be a powerful emotional connection between the business vision and the personal vision. To sustain the commitment, have continual action. Ignition switch is, this is the ignition switch to high performance. If you have a compelling vision. Okay? It could be debt-free. No? You know, you may want to ask yourself, what if I can pay off my debts right now? Amortization lahat. Tapos. And, you know, what if I can sponsor ito? Community quarantine. Community, ano yun? Pantry. I mean, you know, it's a what if. You know, you can have a professional goal. What if I can be a CEO of my big company? Okay? An international company. Anong personal lifestyle mo? What if? Okay? Is it a house? here's the thing, it doesn't have to be selfish. You know, to me, like my personal vision is I want to have an international business, a nice nationwide business. I want to have a big house such that I can, you know, I can invite my friends from associates from all over the Philippines. They can stay in our house, live in our house, and we can have, you know, we can have talks there. I can invite as guest speaker. We can have a theater night. Naka-lazy boy kami, watch the whole night, and bond together. You know, that's not selfish. It's about vision, casting vision to a team. What if I can travel our leaders, international, we can go to, tapos na COVID, let's say Hong Kong, or let's go on an Asian cruise, okay, together, okay, when we meet our goals. I mean, that's a vision, right? What if you are a global citizen and you have a global expansion? You want to be a global citizen, okay? Not just travel, be a global citizen. Immerse myself anywhere. Travel at will, di ba? Ito hindi ko alam. Six-pack, fit body. Okay. What if? Okay? You want to be a personality in YouTube? You know, it's up to you. Then those are personal goals. You want to align your personal goal and your business goal. Kasi kung hindi align yan, ang hirap. Okay? Another thing is, this is from Atomic Habits, you want to identify yourself. Who are you? Okay? Who are you? Okay? I'm a CEO of my international company. Okay? That's your identity. Then from the identity will come the process. This is a 12-week year, and will come the outcomes. James Clear said, every action you take is a vote on the type of person you become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as to vote builds up, so does the evidence of your new identity. Okay? Now, you know, the 12-week year, the compelling vision will help you, okay, fuel your passion in the valley of despair, because any goal will go through phase 1, uninformed optimism, any dream, okay? Then after that, uninformed pessimism. Mas mahirap pala than I thought. Then you have the valley of despair. You know what, in valley of despair for you, before you quit, you know what will make you stick? It's your compelling vision. So the first step is have a compelling vision. Then you have informed optimism as you do the 12-week year. Then you're tumataas. Then you will have fulfillment. Okay, let me just go through. Now, here's the thing in the compelling vision. Don't ask first how. Wala pa tayo doon. First is impossible, and say, what if? What if I can retire in 3 years? What if I can build my dream house in 3 years? What if I can really, what if I can send my son to the US for him to study? You can say, what if? It's okay. Hindi pa naman nasa impossible to possible, what if. Then, the probable is, how might I? That is when you create other, from long-term vision, you create your 1 to 3 years midterm goals. So, pero kailangan, umpisahan mo yung long-term. Yung walang filter. No filter. Then you go to midterm, then 12 weeks. You need to be bold, okay? You need to be bold. You need to be bold. Kasi kung ang goal mo is something you can achieve easily, then the 12-week year has no, there's no meaning. That's a boring life. That will not really propel you to your goals. You'll be settling for mediocrity. Okay? So you want to create an aspirational vision in health, spiritual life, in 6 areas of your life: financial, personal, relational, okay, and time freedom. Okay? Is it the Holy Land? You want to go to the Holy Land? Machu Picchu? Okay? Your dream house? Then create your 3-year vision, 1 year. Now, the test of ownership is, these are just questions. You want to do a screenshot. I won't go through it. Pero, what are the elements of the vision important to you? Okay? So these are tests of ownership. I won't go through it so long. You can take a screenshot. I'm okay with it. What are the pitfalls for compelling vision? You don't take the power of vision seriously. Vision isn't meaningful to you. Your vision is too small. Pag masyado maliit yung vision mo, konting, ay mahirap pala, ayoko na. Kasi hindi exciting yung vision mo eh. Di ba? Okay? You know, and because this is not employment. No, if you and even if you're employed, if you want to dream your dream profession, kailangan maganda yung compelling vision mo. If you want your dream house in you want to achieve in your business, then you need to have a big vision. You need to connect your vision to your daily actions. That's the thing. Some success tips, you want to share your vision to others. You want to articulate it. Stay in touch with your vision. Live with intention. Next is planning. I won't go through it. Yung planning, you want to develop a 12-week plan. So develop a 12-week goal. So meron kang 1-year, 3-year vision, right? Meron kang ultimate compelling vision, 1 to 3-year vision. Then create goals 12 weeks. Okay? Make sure it's specific and measurable. You have to state it positively. Don't say, don't be I won't be overweight. Hindi ganun. Sabihin mo, I'll be 150 pounds fit. Okay? Now, state them positive. Ensure they are realistic stretch. That's the word, realistic stretch. If it's realistic and it's not a stretch, it's not, then wala rin, di ba? And you're playing it safe. You want to stretch because you want to, in 12 weeks, again, Parkinson's law. If it's not realistic naman, out of sight, hindi na mahirap. Okay? Baka ma-frustrate ka naman. Assign accountably and be time-bound. So this is an example of your 12 weeks. So my ultimate vision for the period ending will be the following. So you have a short list of your goals for 12 weeks. It could be in the area of business, in the area of personal finance, or in the area of health. It's up to you. Then you have your goal 1. This is your goal 1. And write down what your keystone tactics. Okay, ano yung tactics mo to achieve that? Then you have week due. Kailan mo gagawin? So you have a big picture. Then you have goals and tactics week due. Then you ask yourself, what actions will you struggle with? Ano magiging struggle mo? Naku, my struggle is to wake up early, 6 o'clock. Okay, so what will you do? And I know that because a lot of you, if you don't start early, you don't start, all successful people start early. All successful people are early risers. I've read all the books. Yun yung lagi sinasabi nila. Okay? So, I have to work on that. All successful people are early risers. Okay? Now, so, this is my struggle. What will you do to overcome? So, I have to sleep earlier. Am I making sense? Dada, anong ibig sabihin? Huwag kayo inom ng kape sa gabi. Huwag kayo inom muna ng excess sa gabi. Just, so you struggle. Okay, next, pitfalls. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Your 12-week plan does not align with your 12-week vision. Dapat align. Okay? Keep it simple. You don't keep it simple. If you don't keep it simple, masyadong marami, you won't be able to get it done. And I'm learning that. Actually, I got myself yung first round, and that's my thinking. I have to simplify the goal. Okay? And yung staging of my goals in the 12-week year is also critical. Another one is you don't make it meaningful. It has to be meaningful. I'm working for my freedom. I'm working for my retirement. Okay? What is that one thing? Now, next is, may sinabi si Mike Tyson, probably the only famous quote of Mike Tyson, that is quoted by all successful gurus. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Okay? Now, how do you make sure that when you get punched in the mouth, you don't get knocked out. Okay, it's called process control. Okay, now how do you make sure that when you get punched in the mouth, you don't get knocked out? Number one, score your week. You need to score. You score on your tactics. Score. Next is from your 12-week plan, create your weekly plan. So dapat may weekly plan ka, then you have a scoring system. And get involved in a weekly accountability meeting. This is very critical. Process control keeps you on track even when you get punched in the mouth. There's a book called Change or Die. I got this book. Ito, nice book by Alan Deutschman. And it was also featured in the magazine Fast Company. And he said that 90% of people, even they face the prospects of death, will not change their lifestyle eventually. 70% of those who change their lifestyle was involved in an accountability group. Yun ang ano doon. So, you need to have a WAM, weekly accountability meeting, to get you, to get you in, to make sure that you are on track. Okay? Yung mga to, these are not your boss. These are your group of accountables. You're all accountables to yourself. And you want to be a support group to each other. Okay? So, individual reports 12-week year to date. Kumbaga, how are you in your last week? Okay? Yung score mo is the execution. You don't score the result, the execution. Did I call up 5 people as I promised myself? Did I write 1 page of my book? Okay? Every day. Yun ang ano dyan. You score yourself on the execution score. And what are your intentions for the coming week? Then you can have feedback and suggestions from the group. The next one is you share successful techniques to help others. And lastly is the most important thing on the WAM group. You encourage each other. What I've done with what changes in the WAM group, I've done a little bit is I asked 1 or 2 people to share their compelling vision. To share their compelling vision. Yun ang maganda dyan. Okay, this is a WAM group agenda. May partners ka. Then we report. And this can take only as fast as 30 minutes. Okay, this is process control. The pitfalls, you don't plan each week. You include all tasks. You cannot include all tasks. You have to plan it. You assume that each week is the same. No, they are not the same. You add tactics weekly. Mahirap yon. Dapat nakaplano na yung 12-week. Don't use it to guide your day. Okay? It is not your glorified to-do list. A 12-week, yung process control is about you do what you call time blocking. Time blocking is about, let's say, phone calls. Kung yung phone calls mo is every Sunday evening, so you block the time for phone calls. Okay? And you block time, may breakthrough time, and you have a time to rest. Okay? You need to read the book to get all of that. Okay? So then, next. Excuses for not planning. You have not time for it. That's excuse. You don't need it. This is misguided. You're above it. Again, it won't happen. You already know it. It won't happen. And you don't want to be accountable. That's a big mistake. And I'm going to take up, this is the last point I'm going to share. Second to the last, measurement. You need to measure. It drives the execution process. You need to focus on the lead execution indicators. Yes, you want to track the results, but you want to track the leading actions that will lead to the results. Okay, so these are leading indicators, lagging indicators. Okay, this is a 3x3. Okay, ang ginagamit nito, these are the leading indicators. So I track the one here, and if I do this right, this one will come up. Okay. Now, okay, I don't have much time. Some last point. Success tips. Review your weekly score with the body, small group of peers, weekly accountability meeting. commit to make progress every week. Remember that a weekly score of less than 85% isn't necessarily bad. By the way, if you scored 85% every week, you're gonna be sure that you're gonna meet your 12-week goal. But if you're not meeting 85%, sit down and assess. Okay? That isn't bad. It's a learning experience. Don't be afraid to confront what numbers are telling you. Okay, that's it. Obviously, don't have much time, but I think we covered enough for today. We've covered the 3 principles and the 5 disciplines of the 12-week goal. I really suggest you read the book or listen to the audiobook. Maraming salamat po. Thank you. Back to you, Brenda.